I tested all of the best 3D printers of 2026 and I'm going to show you which ones are worth buying and which ones are a waste of money. Let's get started. The Prusa Core 1 feels like the printer I reach for when I need something that reliable that won't fight me during a long engineering print run. After a week of cranking out functional parts in ABS and nylon composites, the enclosed chamber keeps everything stable, no warping, perfect layer adhesion, even on tall pieces. And the Core XY motion makes it surprisingly quick without sacrificing that signature Prusa precision. The real annoyance is the price hitting around $1,200. It's steep when bamboo machines spit out similar results faster and cheaper for most people. I'd pass unless you're already deep in the Prusa ecosystem and value open source longevity over everything else. The MK4S still prints like a dream after years of abuse. I've thrown everything at it for a week straight, from detailed minis to PETG brackets, and it just keeps delivering flawless first layers and consistent results without babysitting. The upgraded cooling lets it handle overhangs way better than older models, and it's whisper quiet during long jobs. But in 2026, it feels dated next to Core XY speed demons. Prints take noticeably longer, and at the price, you're paying a premium for that legendary support rather than raw performance. Save your money, better options exist for the same cash. The Ender 3 V3 SE is the printer I hand to total newbies because it gets them printing decent stuff in under an hour. No endless tweaking. I ran it for a week on basic PLA models on terrain pieces, and at under $200, the auto leveling and direct drive make it forgiving and surprisingly fast for the money, with solid enough quality for casual use. The frame wobbles a bit at higher speeds, and bed adhesion can be finicky if you don't baby it, leading to failed prints that frustrate beginners. Don't get this unless you're on a super tight budget. By 2026, you can find faster, more reliable starters without much extra spend. The Bambu Lab H2C is addictive once you start multi-material work. I spent a week pushing 7 colors and different filaments on complex models, and the Vortex hot hand swapping eliminates purge waste so cleanly that it feels like magic for detailed, full-colored prints without constant cleanup. Speed and surface quality are top tier, no stringing mess even on intricate stuff. But it's massively overpriced at $2,400+, and if you're not doing heavy multicolor or material mixing, the complexity and cost don't justify it over simpler bamboo models. Hard skip unless multi-material is your main thing. This is for pros who need it, not hobbyists. The Eligo Neptune 4 Pro flies through prints. I blasted a week's worth of fast prototypes and detailed parts at speeds that make older machines feel glacial, with sharp details and minimal ringing thanks to the clipper setup. It's a beast for the price, punching way above mid-range with great cooling for overhangs. Bed adhesion and calibration can still be hit or miss out of the box, requiring tweaks that eat into that fast promise, and support isn't as rock solid as Prusa or Bamboo. I'd pass in 2026. Cheaper speedsters have caught up, and this one feels rushed with lingering quirks. Better options exist for reliable speed. The Creality K1C has been my go-to for banging out tough functional parts like carbon fiber reinforced bits without constant babysitting. It chews through abrasive filaments like they're nothing and prints fly at speeds that make older machines feel ancient, with solid layer adhesion even on long overnight jobs. The enclosure keeps things stable for engineering plastics, but man, the firmware updates are slow to come, and I've had to tweak settings more than I'd like to avoid occasional under extrusion or finicky materials. At its current street price in 2026, it's a strong buy if you're into durable prints and don't mind a bit of dialing in. The Anycubic Photon Mono M7 Pro is a resin beast for anyone obsessed with insane detail on minis or jewelry. I ran it for weeks cracking out tabletop figures, and the 14K sharpness makes layer lines basically invisible even up close. The auto resin fill/drain and heated vat mean I can start prints without the usual mess or temperature drama, and it blasts through jobs faster than expected for this level of resolution. Cleanup is still a sticky pain like any resin printer, and failed prints can waste resin if the detection misses something minor. If you're serious about high detail resin work and hate fiddling, this is worth your money. The Bambu Lab A1 feels like cheating for beginners or anyone who just wants reliable, colorful prints without headaches. I've thrown everything from PLA toys to multi-material organizers at it, and it nails first layers every time with zero manual tweaks. Multicolor via the AMS lead is seamless and fun for quick prototypes, and it's dead quiet in the corner in my room. The open design means warping on bigger ABS-style prints if your room isn't perfect, and it's not built for super engineering grade stuff. For casual to intermediate users who value speed and ease over enclosure toughness, I'd buy this in a heartbeat. The Bamboo Lab X1C still crushes it after heavy use printing enclosures and functional prototypes that need to hold up. Enclosed chamber handles warp-prone materials effortlessly, and the LiDAR keeps failures rare even on complex multicolor runs. Prints come out crisp and consistent, with the carbon fiber nozzle option making abrasive jobs painless. It's pricier than the A1, and if you're not pushing engineering filaments or enclosures, you won't notice much difference in everyday speed or quality. Unless you specifically need that enclosed reliability for tougher materials, I'd pass. Better options exist for the money now. The Bamboo Lab H2D is overkill for most, but if you're a serious maker or small business cranking out large multi-material parts, laser cuts, or hybrid projects, it delivers. The dual nozzle saves filaments on color swaps, bigger volume lets you print props in one go, and everything feels premium and fast. Switching tools is smooth, but the full combo price is steep. Ventilation is a must for laser use, and it's way more machine than hobbyists need, with occasional quirks in modular setup. For elite crafters who will actually use the extras, this is the one I pick, but most people should save their money. The Creality K2 Plus feels like the oversized workhorse you grab when you need to crank out big functional parts without babysitting it every 5 minutes. After weeks of sliding through massive enclosures and prototypes, the sheer 350mm cube volume lets you print things that smaller machines just laugh at. And it holds speed surprisingly well on PLA and PETG without turning into a spaghetti factory. But the multicolor system still glitches more than it should on longer jobs, wasting filament and forcing mid-print rescues that kill the vibe. At its current price in 2026, I pass. Better options exist for reliable big prints without the headaches. The Bamboo Lab P2S is the one printer I fire up when I want prints that look injection molded without any drama. It spits out incredibly clean, detailed parts at blistering speeds, stays dead quiet even in an enclosed setup, and handles tougher materials like ABS or nylon with zero warping thanks to that smart airflow. The only real annoyance is how picky it gets if your filament isn't perfectly dry. Moisture sneaks in and suddenly layers start shifting. This is the one I pick right now for most people. Strong buy, no hesitation. The Prusa XL sits there like a tank built for serious multi-material work that after extended rust printing complex assemblies with different tools swapping flawlessly, the reliability shines through. No random crashes or layer shifts that plague cheaper tool changers. Prints come out with that crisp Prusa precision, perfect for functional prototypes or end-use parts. But it's noticeably slower than the speed demons out there, and in 2026, that lag feels dated when you're iterating fast. I'd pass unless true independent multi-material is non-negotiable, otherwise save your money. And the Elego Saturn 4 Ultra makes resin printing feels almost effortless for detailed minis or jewelry that needs razor-sharp edges. I've run it non-stop for weeks, and the 16K resolution delivers insane surface smoothness right out the build plate, while the tilt mechanism and heater keeps big prints consistent without temperature swings ruining everything. Cleanup is still messy like any resin machine, and failures from bad support hurt more when you're dealing with tiny features. Worth your money if you're into high-detailed hobby work or small production. Easy buy for resin fans. The Formlabs Form 4L is what you turn to when you need production-grade resin parts at scale that look and feel like final molded components. Over time, cranking out large prototypes in batches, the speed and repeatability are unmatched. Prints cure fast with minimal post-processing, and accuracy stays tight across the huge volume. But at that eye-watering price, pushing 5 figures fully kitted, it's overkill for anyone not running a business or a lab churning out parts daily. Hard skip unless you're building clients for this level of perfection. Better value exists elsewhere. The Anycubic Cobra S1 feels like a solid step up when you've been fighting dead slingers for years. It's enclosed, Core XY fast, and just starts printing without constant babysitting. After a week of cranking out PLA prototypes and some PETG parts, the prints come out sharp and consistent right off the bat, with almost zero stringing even at higher speeds, and that built-in dryer actually keeps filament reliable without extra hassle. The real annoyance hits during multicolor jobs. The slicer is clunky, wastes more filament than it should on purchase, and remote monitoring drops out randomly, which kills the flow if you're not right next to it. At its current price, in 2026, it's a strong buy if you want enclosed speed without breaking the bank. The Creality Spark X i7 surprised me as a beginner-focused bed slinker that doesn't feel half-baked. Setup takes minutes, auto-calibration nails it first try, and it's dead quiet even running overnight in a shared space. I've printed a bunch of small detailed models and functional bits, and the quality holds up surprisingly well for the speed, with clean layers and minimal post-processing needed. Multicolor adds hassle with the separate CFS Elite accessory and occasional purge waste that piles up on longer jobs. Plus, it doesn't quite match the reliability of pricier Core XY machines when pushing harder materials. For the entry-level price today, I'd pass. Better options exist that feel more future-proof without the compromises. The Oligo Centauri Carbon 2 punches way above its budget weight. Its enclosed Core XY that feels rigid and precise from the first print, churning out clean, high-detail minis and functional parts at speeds that rival twice the price machines. After a week of non-stop use, prints are reliable with great surface finish straight away, and the multi-material system is surprisingly seamless for 4 colors without huge waste or jams. The chamber temp control is good but not perfect for trickier filaments like ABS, where you still get occasional warping if you're not dialing it in. And the software ecosystem isn't as polished as the big names. In 2026, this is worth your money. No hesitation for anyone wanting fast, colorful results without paying premium. The Bamboo Lab A1 Mini remains stupidly good even now. It's tiny, dead simple, and just works every time, spitting out perfect little models and gadgets overnight without a single failure in my tests. The multicolor AMS lead is seamless for what it is, with quick swaps and minimal waste, making fun prints actually enjoyable instead of a chore. It's small, so bigger functional parts feel cramped, and while it's fast for its size, it can't touch the larger enclosed machines for serious volume or advanced materials. If you're starting out or just want reliable desk-friendly printing in 2026, this is the one I'd pick. Easy buy. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the best 3D printers for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description. Alright, peace out.